The time has come to finish the first book in New York 97 Story Times. Today is What is the Stanley Cup, chapters 9 through 10. Now, next thing I am going to say, we will have a new card bookmark. Right now it's Simmons with the Los Angeles Kings. So chapter 9 is called Curse, A Curse, and you can barely see that. Whatever, I'll just show the pictures after, like I do in the other videos. Jaromir Jagr and Mario Lemieux are on the very front title, and then there's Mark Messier. We'll get into that in a second. In the new decade, Super Mario Lemieux and his fellow top scorer Jaromir Jagr led the Pittsburgh Penguins to back-to-back trophies. Wayne Gretzky had another shot with the title in 1993, but his LA Kings lost to Montreal in the Stanley Cup Finals. Meanwhile, Gretzky's old Oilers teammate, Mark Messier, has become the captain for the New York Rangers. The Rangers hadn't won a cup since they had supposedly set it on fire in 1940, 54 long years ago. Now, in the third-round playoffs of the New Jersey Devils, they faced elimination after 5 games. We know we have to win it. Game 6, of course. We can win it, and we are going to win it, Messier told reporters. Messier wanted to get across to his teammates how much he believed in them, and his statement was a guarantee, a promise. The pressure was really on. Halfway through the games, the Devils were up 2-0. Messier had an assist. The score was 2-1. Then Messier scored once, twice, 3 times, to end the game 4-2. He kept his promise. The Rangers went on to the finals. They were on a roll, but the series against the Vancouver Canucks came down to a 7th game. In the stands, the Canucks fans chanted 1940, 1940, because that's how it was back then. They were going crazy about 1940 because they thought it was the curse, and I think it was the curse. They wanted to remind the Rangers of their curse and their drought. The many years they've gone without a championship. It was a tight match, but the Rangers squeaked out a 3-2 win. The waiting is over, the television announcer cried. And there's Messier in a Rangers jersey and 1940 posters behind and Canucks fans screaming it. In 1997, the Detroit Red Wings ended their 42-year drought thanks to the famous Russian Five. The Soviet Union had collapsed in 1991, and now, for the first time, Russians could easily join the NHL. That's exactly what these 5 men have done. So the back row, we have Vladimir Kostanyanov and Sergei Fedorov and Vyacheslav Fedostov. Front row, Sava Kozlov and Igor Larionov. So there is the Russian Five. We'll interview them. We'll talk about them at some point on the channel. Now after that, 6 days after the victory, the Red Wings celebrated their golf outing. Star defender Vladimir Kostanyanov, one of the Russian Five, climbed into a limousine with his friends. Minutes later, the driver lost control. The limo slammed into a tree. One teammate had minor injuries. Kostanyanov and the team manager had survived but were in comas, unconscious. Kostanyanov was a fan favorite, nicknamed the Vladinator, after the Terminator movie character. He had gotten his own pre-game video of hard-hitting plays, but to his teammates, Kostanyanov, with his goofy grin, seemed more like Curious George. After the accident, it took months for Kostanyanov just to learn how to walk again, and with severe head injuries, he'd never be the same. The Red Wings dedicated their next season to the injured men. They wore patches on their uniforms that in English and Russian that said "Believe," and they made it to the finals. Kostanyanov was in a wheelchair, sitting in the stand for the deciding game. When Detroit swept the Washington Capitals, he was brought onto the ice for the trophy presentation. Captain Steve Yzerman didn't even lift the cup. He just passed on to Kostanyanov. The entire team huddled around the ex-player in friendship and support. No Detroit player has worn his number since. And I don't think anyone will wear his number since. There's Kostanyanov before he got into the injury, and then there's this thing that says "Believe" on it with Russian. And that's it for Chapter 9. So, final chapter here, Chapter 10. We're only 4 minutes in, so this could be pretty easy. We have Raymond Bork, and we have Ray Bork. Oh, actually, they're both Ray Bork. I'm an idiot. Huh. In 2000, Bruins star Raymond Bork had become a part of the Colorado Avalanche. Bork had played 21 seasons for Boston. He'd been a strong and steady leader for an all-around nice guy. With 5 trophies for the best defender, he led his team to 2 finals, but he never won a cup. Now, 39 years old and about to retire, he wanted it more than ever. So, at his request, Boston traded him to Colorado. For Bork, it was a gut-wrenching decision. Boston couldn't make the playoffs, and the Avalanche were a good chance of going all the way. But then Colorado was knocked out in the semifinals. At the beginning of the next season, Captain Joe Sakic told Bork, "We're going to win it. And I want you to be the first to lift the cup." The entire team got behind Bork. They called their mission 16W for the 16 playoff wins needed for Bork to retire a champion. This time, the Avalanche made it to the finals. In Game 3 against the Devils, Bork scored the winning goal, but the series went to a 7th game. But Bork played most of it. They wanted me right there to the end, he said. As the clock ticked down, it became clear that the Avalanche would win. Still on the ice, Bork held back tears. The buzzer sounded. The game is over. Cries of Ray, Ray rocked the arena. 5 days later, Bork came back to Boston. He stood by City Hall in front of 15,000 loyal fans. "This is home for me and my family," he said. Smiling, Bork lifted the trophy for all to share his joy. The Red Wings, Devils, and Tampa Bay Lightning won the next 3 championships, but the entire 2004-2005 season was canceled. Owners and players couldn't agree on contracts. For the first time ever, there was no championship series. But hockey was back in action next season, with rookies Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. Crosby skating for the Penguins, Ovechkin for the Capitals. The next year, the 19-year-old Crosby took the scoring title, the youngest player to ever win that trophy. In 2009, at 21, he was the youngest captain to take his team to a Stanley Cup victory. So there's Ray Bork once again, and then there's Ovechkin right there. And now we got a little thing about Crosby here, so there you go. Sidney Crosby, August 7th, 1990. He was born August 7th, 1987. Sidney Crosby and his youngest sister grew up in outside Halifax, Nova Scotia. Their father, Troy, was a hockey player drafted by the Canadiens, and his family's basement became a makeshift rink. At age 15, Crosby went to a boarding school in Minnesota known for its hockey program and led his team to a national title. Back in Canada, he entered the 2005 NHL draft, known by the fan as the Sidney Crosby sweepstakes. Plagued by concussions over the years, Crosby has still managed to win top-scoring trophies. Meanwhile, Chicago fans hoped 2010 would be the year for the Blackhawks. They'd only won 3 championships since the team began playing in 1926. The finals against Philadelphia could end their drought. Game 6 could be the clincher. In overtime, Hawks forward Patrick Kane tried to shake a Flyers defender. It seemed impossible. Together, they skated closer to the net. Somehow, Kane fired a quick shot on goal. There were no cheers. No red light signaling. He scored. No one knew what happened, although Kane skated away, shouting in triumph. "The worst moment in my entire life, even though I was 3 years old. Thanks, Kane." Alright, so right here we got a Crosby picture. And then right there we got Patrick Kane breaking my heart. Now after that, but did the puck really go in? Replays show it did. Kane shot and won the game in the cup. The puck had slid into the padding at the bottom of the net and disappeared from sight. Immediately, it became the most famous puck in Chicago history. Unfortunately, no one could find it in the game. Newspapers ran the story of the missing puck. A restaurant owner offered $50,000 reward. Nobody came forward. What happened to the mysterious puck? Chicago fans are still waiting to find out. In 2012, the Kings made headlines. They didn't have a great season. They were the lowest-ranked team to make the playoffs, but they took it one game at a time, knocking team after team. In the deciding game in the finals, they blew out the Devils 6-1. The Kings became the first worst team to win a championship. Meanwhile, the Hawks still had momentum, winning cups in 2013 and 2015. Crosby and the Penguins followed in 2016. If they won in 2017, they'd be the first team since 1998 to win back-to-back championships. If the Nashville Predators won, it would be their first championship, period. So, heart-wrenching moment here for Predators fans coming up. At their home arena, Predators fans tossed catfish, a Nashville favorite food, hopped into the ice, just as they've been doing since 2002. Most likely, a fan had been inspired by the Red Wings' fishing tradition. Back in 1952, 2 brothers tossed an octopus into the Detroit rink. The octopus had 8 arms, and the team needed 8 playoff wins to take the trophy. It seemed to make sense. In fact, hockey has a history of fans tossing objects onto the ice. Hats after hat tricks, hamburgers for goalie Andrew the Hamburglar Hammond, and a small leopard for the San Jose Sharks, to name a few. And now here we got Predators throwing in catfish and Andrew Hamburglar Hammond for the Ottawa Senators. Let me struggle to turn the page here. The octopus had worked for Detroit in 1952. They won the title. Could the catfish do the same for Nashville? In Game 6, the Penguins had the chance to win it all, but the Predators fought back. The first period ended with 0-0 tie. In the second period, Nashville's Colton Sissons shot a rebound into the goal. The Predators were the Predators and their catfish-loving fans on the way to victory? No, the referee had already blown the whistle for the play to stop, thinking the goalie had the puck. In the noisy arena, no one had heard it. It was an iffy goal, but it couldn't be changed. The Predators didn't recover. The Penguins went on to score twice, and they won the game, the series, and the trophy. Here you got Predators fans being angry about the ref saying no goal in the call. Pretty lofty moment for Predators fans right there. And this is the final page. Could Crosby take his team to the finals for more Stanley Cup wins, or would he be overshadowed by Alex Ovechkin? Ovechkin is considered the greatest scorer of his generation, and in 2018, his Capitals were hungry for a trophy. The team had come close to before, but never won, losing time and time again against Pittsburgh in the postseason. This time, Washington came out on top in the second round. They battled their way to the finals. They faced a surprise opponent, the newest team to join the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights. After losing the first game, the Capitals took the next 4 matches and the title. But maybe, with more experience under their belt, under their team belt, the Golden Knights will make another appearance in the Stanley Cup Championship. Maybe the series could go to the last possible game and the last possible time into overtime and beyond. You can never know what happens in a Stanley Cup final game. And that is it for book number 1 of Nordic 97 Story Times. So that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. You guys enjoy it. Please drop a like, subscribe. It's 11 o'clock right now, so I hope you guys are just about going to bed. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.